Thank you, Attorney Galleyhouse. Thank you for being here with us. We also have another attorney that went through a lot of issues with the court, especially with Judge Emons, Paul Greenan.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. My name is Paul Greenan, and first I would like to thank Representatives Gonzalez, Rosario, DeMassa, Representative Vargas, and all the members of the Black and Latino Caucus who have invited me to be here. And Ms. Porter, thank you. As well as members of the legislature, both Republican and Democrat, who are working together to improve our family court system. I would also like to thank the members of the press. Before I discuss Jane Emons, let me first tell you a little bit about myself and quickly dispel the notion that those of us seeking improvements to our family court system are all disgruntled, crazy litigants, which is a label commonly applied to us to the benefit of those who want the status quo to remain. I am an attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Connecticut since 1991. I have been licensed to practice law in the state of New York since 1992. I am licensed to practice before the United States Tax Court and the federal district courts. I hold an undergraduate degree in accounting from New York University, an MBA in finance from the NYU School of Business, and a law degree from Fordham Law School. I gained my professional legal experience at the largest law firms and investment banks in the country, including Skadden Arps and Morgan Stanley. I presently run the Greenan Law Firm in Stamford, Connecticut. My practice includes litigation, family. Those attorneys, many of them who have appeared before Judge Emons over the last 8 years, and as a result of those experiences, believe that there are more suitable candidates in this state who can fill this family court judge position. It is regrettable but understandable that many of my colleagues are afraid to speak publicly. They fear, I suppose, retribution if Judge Jane Emons is reappointed, and they must bring their clients before her again. I'm also here to speak on behalf of the parents, many of them who are gathered here today. Most of them pro se, not able to afford their own counsel, and who have appeared before Judge Emons. Many of them are minorities, but Judge Emons does not discriminate. They have no voice, and they are often afraid to speak out due to fears of retribution because the stakes are very high. The stakes can be the custody of their children. And of course, I am here to speak on behalf of the true victims of judicial misconduct. And those are the children whose lives are forever turned upside down by some of these outrageous orders which she has entered consistently over the last 8 years. I have represented several clients before Jane Emons. I have also had the opportunity to observe her handling of many, many cases. What I have observed chills me, and it should chill everyone in this room. To me, her conduct is nothing short of a stain on the legal profession. It's a stain on our judicial branch, and it's an insult to Governor Malloy, who has nominated her for reappointment. I have personally observed or had clients or other attorneys describe a pattern of conduct which includes bullying, suppression of evidence, ignoring the rules of procedure, complete lack of legal knowledge, off-the-record hearings, not subject to court recordings, decisions rendered with little or no basis in factual or legal reality, complete and total disdain for pro se litigants, And all the conduct is resulted in her being one of the most appealed and most overturned family judges sitting on the bench today. And she is the most grieved. I believe she has set the record in this state for 29 grievances filed against her during her tenure so far. And this is who is up for reappointment. But most shocking, and this hurts me personally, she condones the publication of court orders which contain children's personal information, such as their names, their addresses, discussions of the children's mental health, and very personal information concerning their parents. My personal belief is that the drafting and publications of such orders is meant to embarrass and punish certain parents, branding their children for life with a scarlet letter, which can live forever on the internet and turn up whenever that child Googles their name. But as to her own family's information, it's another story. With that, she is very protective. Some years ago, myself and my colleagues noticed that she and her husband had sued a bank for emotional distress due to a change in an interest rate. We watched the case very carefully. We watched as portions of the file became sealed without public notice, and then we watched as the case disappeared entirely off the judicial system. That's curious. It came as no surprise to me during her renomination hearing that she was unable to even cite one of the 16 factors to be considered in determining the custody of a child. Now, these are not difficult factors. They include such things as the wishes of the child, the wishes of the parents, whether or not the child's been abused, and whether or not the child needs certain developmental assistance. It is inconceivable that a family court judge with now 8 years of experience is unable to recite a single factor to be considered in fashioning a child custody order. It is inconceivable, but completely unsurprising in the case of Jane Emons. We have over 20,000 licensed attorneys in the state of Connecticut. Most of them are hardworking, we're ethical, and we're capable. The position of family court judge is one of great honor. Anyone who's appointed should consider it a blessing. These judges determine the fate of our state's most precious resources, and that's our kids. And when parents divorce and custody is in dispute, it's these judges who will determine that child's future. A family law judge, or any judge, must listen to the evidence. They must apply the law, and they must make appropriate decisions, all while conducting themselves in a personally appropriate manner with respect for the families that come before them for help. Is it really the case that this judge is the best possible candidate that Governor Malloy can nominate for reappointment? Out of more than 20,000 attorneys in our state, is this the best candidate? I don't think so. In closing, let me say, this isn't a partisan issue. This isn't a battle. There can be and should be no sides. There's only one side here, and that's the children's side. What's best for the kids? The renomination of Jane Emons to the bench is a concern to both Democrats and Republicans alike. We have some wonderful, talented, and wonderful, caring family court judges sitting on the bench. We have a head of the family court system, Judge Bizzuto, who I believe is working hard to change and improve the court. We had a Chief Justice, Justice Rogers, who recently retired, who brought much transparency to our system. And we have attorneys many of us who really care, and we really want to do what's best for the kids. But our judiciary is only good as the ingredients we put into it. It's only as good as the judges who are nominated and thrust upon them by our executive branch. If we have bad judges being appointed, no matter how hard our judiciary tries, we're doomed for failure. Thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity to be heard.